Welcome to Go Fact Yourself, the Top 10 Lists podcast. Okay, so you sent us this really fascinating and honestly often hilarious bunch of famous last words or, well, predictions that just spectacularly didn't age well.
No, not at all. Like milk left out in the sun, some of
Yeah,
these.
exactly. So we've dug through your top research on these 10 moments where people were just wildly wrong. And our mission today on this top 10 journey is really to unpack why they stick in our minds, and maybe learn a little about being too darn sure of yourself.
Yeah, the certainty is amazing, especially when the universe seems to have other plans.
Totally. Get ready for some facts that will make you go, WTF, no way that's real. So let's jump right in. You're number 10.
Well, it's a classic, isn't it? This
Yeah.
idea of sheer confidence meeting, cold, hard reality. It makes you think about the mindset behind these huge claims.
Right. And kicking off our top 10 journey of being spectacularly wrong, at number 10, we've got this ship is unsinkable. And we're not talking just some random passenger saying this. This was like the official line from the RMS Titanic's PR team, basically.
Oh, absolutely. Your research shows it wasn't just safe. It was built up into this myth almost. Invincible.
How did that happen, do you think? How did that narrative get so strong?
Well, I think, like you said, the research points to this real hunger for that story, right?
Yeah.
Humans beating nature, technology triumphant, all that.
Yeah. The ship itself seemed like proof. So grand, so advanced for its time.
And then it escalates. You mentioned that alleged quote from a White Star Line VP.
Oh, yeah. God himself could not sink this ship. I mean, wow. Talk about asking for trouble.
Exactly. Were they just saying that, or did they actually believe it? Either way.
Yeah.
Hubris.
Hubris met iceberg. Just boom. Reality check.
The ultimate reality check.
But here's something interesting from your research I found kind of fascinating. The chief designer, Thomas Andrews, the guy who knew the ship inside out, he apparently reacted really calmly when it happened. Like it just accepted its fate. No big pronouncements then.
That's a stark contrast, isn't it? Maybe the engineers knew deep down it wasn't literally unsinkable, even if they had said so.
Could be. And then you have passengers, your sources mention survivors, saying people were scoffing, even after hitting the iceberg.
Why we can't sink, someone reportedly said. Just, wow. The power of belief, I guess.
Even when the evidence is, the ship tilting dramatically.
It's hard to shake off that kind of ingrained confidence, I suppose.
And the final irony you dug up, the insurance.
Oh, right. Underinsured.
Massively.
Yeah.
Imagine being the person who decided that premium based on unsinkable, awkward.
Yeah, that's a bad day at the office. A huge financial misstep based on, well, bad PR, essentially.
And get this, you found a modern example. A crypto company.
Yep, 2022. Used the exact same quote. Unsinkable.
No. What happened?
Sank, metaphorically, of course. Went bust in like 3 weeks.
Oh, my God. History just keeps repeating, doesn't it?
It seems some lessons need constant reteaching. Hubris is rarely rewarded. What does that tell us about believing hype?
Maybe that we really want to, even when it seems too good to be true. Okay, let's move on. Number 9 on your list. Another case of words immediately backfiring.
Yes, this one's almost instantaneous.
They couldn't hit an elephant at this distance. Famous last words of Union General John Sedgwick. And the follow-up is, immediate.
Yeah, shockingly immediate. It's not a prediction failing later. It's a statement about the present being instantly proven wrong. Fatally wrong.
Okay, so set the scene. Your research puts this at the Battle of Spotsylvania. Civil War.
Right. Confederate sharpshooters are firing. His troops are ducking for cover, which seems sensible.
But Sedgwick,
Yeah.
not impressed, starts mocking them, basically.
Yeah, it tells them they're being ridiculous. The enemy couldn't hit an elephant way out there, and then
According to your sources, a sniper does exactly that. Not an elephant, obviously. Him.
right below the left eye, just lights out.
It's almost comical if it weren't so tragic. Like the universe just went, oh yeah, watch this.
And the extra layer of irony you found, Sedgwick apparently used to criticize other officers for being reckless.
So he knew better. Or should have. Maybe he just felt invincible in that moment, trying to be brave for the troops.
Perhaps. But the outcome, well, fatal.
And significant, right. Your research says he was the highest-ranking Union officer killed in the whole war.
That's right. So his little boast had major consequences beyond his own life.
And it lives on, doesn't it? You mentioned West Point.
Yeah, apparently it's a tradition, sort of a dark humor thing for cadets to whisper the quote when they pass his statue.
Wow. A mocking legacy. Why do you think this one stuck around so vividly?
I think it's just the sheer speed and, well, the finality of it. Such a direct, immediate contradiction. Okay, moving from the battlefield. Number 8. More personal, but still fatal.
It's just a little cold.
Uh,
Spoken by George Washington. Before, as your research shows, things went downhill fast, thanks to 18th century medicine.
Oof. Yeah, this one really throws into relief how far medicine has come. Looking back, the treatments seem barbaric. What was the thinking then?
Well, your sources say he got caught in some snow, riding his horse, developed a sore throat, hoarseness,
Yeah.
cold.
Sounds like rest, maybe some soup.
Not quite.
Yeah.
The doctors went with the standard practice, balancing the humors, which meant bleeding, lots of bleeding.
How much are we talking?
Your research suggests maybe 5 pints in total.
5 pints? That's a huge amount of blood. The theory was removing excess fluid restored health.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Seems crazy now, right?
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't just that.
Oh, what else?
Your research mentioned blisters applied to the skin. And calomel, that's mercury to make him vomit and have diarrhea.
Oh my goodness. So they were bleeding him, blistering him, and poisoning him.
Pretty much. His reported last coherent words were apparently, "'Tis well," which sounds stoic, but
Maybe just too weak to argue anymore. It's tragic. The cure was likely worse than the disease.
definitely seems that way. A really stark reminder that good intentions plus bad science can be deadly. Medicine thankfully moved on, but too late for him.
It really hammers home how important it is to question things, right? To keep testing assumptions, especially in medicine.
Absolutely. Okay, let's shift from earthly woes to speculating about other planets. Number 7.
Ah, yes, Mars.
What are the odds of anything coming from Mars? That confident dismissal came from astronomer Percy Lowell, champion of the Martian canals.
Lowell's story is fascinating. He wasn't just guessing, he was convinced. An entire civilization, elaborate canals. Your research must have detailed his work.
Oh yeah, books like Mars and its Canals, super popular, captured the public imagination, fueled sci-fi for ages.
But the scientific community back then, they weren't so sure, were they?
Not really. Your research points out a lot of skepticism. They questioned his observations, suggested natural causes for the lines he saw. Why was he so sure, do you think?
Maybe wishful thinking. Combined with the telescopes back then, they weren't exactly Hubble. The data was ambiguous.
Yeah, his maps were so detailed, though. Made a compelling story. Hard to disprove without a closer look. Which eventually came, right?
Yep. NASA's Mariner 4, 1965. Send back the first pictures. And,
No canals. Just craters. Lots of craters. Pretty much killed that theory dead.
yeah, the contrast was pretty stark. Lowell's intricate waterways versus rocks and dust showed the limits of looking from Earth, maybe, and how much we see what we want to see.
Definitely. Kind of ironic, though, that the observatory he founded, the one looking for canals,
Yeah.
it later discovered Pluto. So,
Yeah.
major contribution. Just not the one he expected.
And you found that little final twist. He has a crater named after him on Mars now.
He does. So he's there, just no plumbing included. What's the takeaway here about science?
Maybe that it corrects itself eventually. Evidence wins out over belief, even really strong belief. Okay, fast forward a bit. Music world controversy next.
Number 6. John Lennon, 1966. We are more popular than Jesus.
Right. Not exactly a prediction, more a comment on the times, but boy, did it have consequences, as your research showed. What was he actually trying to say?
Well, it was peak Beatlemania, right? They were gods, basically. He said it in an interview, apparently meaning that in the UK anyway, church attendance was dropping while Beatlemania was, well, massive.
But that context got lost, especially in the U.S.
Completely lost. Your research shows the American media ran with it as pure blasphemy and the backlash.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened? What did your sources detail?
Intense stuff. People actually held public Beatles record burnings.
Seriously. Burning records.
Yep. Death threats against the band. Radio stations boycotting their songs. It got really nasty.
And your research mentioned it affected their U.S. tour that year.
Big time. Made it super tense. Apparently it was a big reason they decided to stop touring altogether after '66.
Wow. Did Lennon try to walk it back?
Sort of. Your sources mention a press conference he tried to explain, gave a kind of half apology. Said if he'd said television was more popular than Jesus, maybe it would have been okay. But yeah, the damage was kind of done.
And the irony now, the Beatles are like studied in schools, academically respectable, while those trends Lennon mentioned, they've continued.
Totally. Shows how context is everything, right? And how fast culture shifts.
Yeah.
Okay, number 5. This one's just incredible. Pure irony.
Ali Mausalelen.
Yep. I will be the last person in the world to die of smallpox, said in 1977.
Just amazing timing. Right as this massive global health effort was reaching its climax, his case became, well, pivotal. How did he even get it?
Okay, get this. He was a hospital cook in Somalia. He'd refused the vaccine.
Refused it during an eradication campaign.
Yep. And then he caught smallpox while transporting 2 patients with smallpox. Apparently, he'd even lied about being vaccinated.
Oh, the irony is just layers deep. In his case, in Merka, Somalia in 1977.
It was the last naturally occurring case anywhere
Yeah.
in the world. So in a way, his prediction...
Came true. Just not how he meant it. Not dying, but being the last case. Wow.
Cosmic joke, right? But here's the amazing part your research highlights. After he recovered,
What did he do?
became a huge advocate for vaccination, worked on the eradication efforts.
Turned it completely around, used his own bizarre experience for good. That's incredible.
Totally. He really dedicated himself to it, played a part in the WHO declaring smallpox officially eradicated in 1980.
So he really did have a hand in making sure no one else would die from it. But wait, there was one last twist you found. His death.
Yeah, sadly. He died in 2013 from malaria.
Not smallpox. Wow. The universe just couldn't resist, could it? What a story of resilience, though.
Absolutely. Shows how unpredictable things are and how people can make a difference in ways they never imagined. Okay, number 4, back to politics. High-stakes diplomacy.
Neville Chamberlain, Munich, 1938.
And his confident words, nothing will come of it.
Referring to his agreement with Hitler, a classic case of maybe seeing what you want to see, ignoring the warning signs. Appeasement.
Yeah, the policy's pretty infamous now. Your sources clearly lay out how he thought giving Hitler the Sudetenland would just satisfy him, prevent war.
He came back waving that piece of paper, didn't he? Declaring peace in our time. He genuinely seemed to believe it. What drove that, do you think? Just avoiding war at all costs?
Your research suggests, yeah, a real desperation to avoid another World War I, maybe underestimating Hitler's, well, everything. But reality hit fast.
Brutally fast. Hitler took the rest of Czechoslovakia just months later, then Poland, September 39, and World War II.
So much for nothing will come of it. Chamberlain's reputation was destroyed. Churchill took over, obviously with a very different plan.
And that phrase, peace in our time, it's basically shorthand now for naive, failed diplomacy, isn't it?
Totally sarcastic. And you found that the actual document, the Munich Agreement he waived, it's still around.
Yeah, in the British National Archives, a physical reminder of that massive miscalculation. What's the lesson there about leadership?
Maybe that you have to deal with the world as it is, not as you wish it were. Realistic assessment is crucial. Okay, changing gears again. The football field.
Number 3. This wasn't one person's quote exactly, but a widespread belief.
Right. They'll never accept a black quarterback. Said by, well, pretty much every NFL exec for decades. Until Doug Williams proved them all wrong, spectacularly.
Yeah, this touches on a really ugly history of prejudice in sports, this idea that black athletes lack the intelligence or leadership for that specific role. Your research must have found some awful examples of that thinking.
Oh, definitely. The sources hint at claims about not being able to lead a huddle or not being smart enough. Just blatant racism, really. Doug Williams' journey wasn't easy, was it?
Not at all. Underpaid in Tampa, went to the USFL for a bit, then got his shot with Washington, and when he got that chance, Super Bowl ex-Testeo.
Wow. He didn't just play well, he dominated.
Yeah.
Your research confirms the record, right? 4 touchdowns.
In one quarter, still a Super Bowl record. He just shredded the Broncos defense. It wasn't just a win, it felt like a statement.
Absolutely. Against those stereotypes, and his comment afterwards.
Tonight, I'm just a quarterback. Simple, powerful, just cut right through all the prejudice.
Yeah. He really changed the game, didn't he? Paved the way.
Absolutely. Every black QB who came after owes him something. What was his key, do you think? Just undeniable talent meeting opportunity.
Talent, resilience, and proving it when it mattered most. Okay, almost there. Number 2.
Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber.
And his reported thought, they'll never find me.
Chilling. He lived off-grid for, almost 20 years? Sending bombs? He really seemed to believe he was invisible, untouchable. How did he stay hidden so long?
Nearly 17 years, yeah. Total ghost. Your research shows the FBI was stumped for ages. What finally cracked it wasn't traditional detective work, was it?
No, it was linguistics. Analyzing his writing style in that manifesto he sent out.
Right. The FBI profiled his language, word choices, grammar quirks. But the real breakthrough was publishing it, wasn't it? Hoping someone would recognize the style.
Exactly. And someone did. His own brother.
David Kaczynski. Read it, recognized the phrasing, the ideas.
Yeah.
And turned him in. Imagine that.
Must have been an incredibly difficult decision, but it led the FBI right to his cabin in Montana.
And inside, they found everything, right? Journals, bomb stuff, the typewriter, proof, his belief in being unfindable. Shattered.
Undone by his own words, in a way. What does that say? Maybe that complete isolation is impossible. Connections always exist.
Seems like it. Even if it's your own brother reading your manifesto in the newspaper. Okay, here we are. Top of the list. Number 1. The ultimate failed prediction.
It's gotta be up there. Ken Olsen, founder of DEC, Digital Equipment Corporation.
And his immortal words from 1977. There's no reason anyone would want a computer in their home.
The timing is just perfect irony. 1977, that's the year Apple was founded. Microsoft was getting going. The dawn of the PC revolution he was dismissing.
Staggering, isn't it? Head of a huge computer company. How could he miss it so badly? What was DC even focused on then?
Big stuff. Mainframes, expensive machines for businesses, universities. Your research probably shows they just completely ignored the potential for smaller personal machines.
Yeah, they totally missed the boat. And DEC, which was a giant.
It basically collapsed, right? By the 90s, they were sold off like a huge cautionary tale about, well, seeing the future. Or failing to.
And the power difference is comical now. Your phone has way more power than those old DEC mainframes.
Orders of magnitude more. It's mind-boggling.
And you found they even had a chance to partner with Apple early on, with Steve Jobs.
Apparently so. Turned him down. Ouch. Talk about a fumble. What's the big lesson from Olsen and DEC?
Maybe that you can't get complacent. You have to stay open to new ideas, even ones that seem crazy or small at first, because they might just change everything.
Yeah, don't underestimate the next big thing, even if you're currently the current big thing.
Well, that's our top 10 journey. Famous last words, predictions gone wrong, forecasts that aged like, well, like you said, milk in the sun.
It really is a lesson in humility, isn't it? The future is just stubbornly unpredictable sometimes.
Definitely. Hope everyone got some surprising facts, maybe a few laughs out of this.
Yeah.
Looking back at these 10, any themes jump out? Or one that just seems the most spectacularly wrong to you?
Maybe the sheer range. From personal health to global politics to technology, overconfidence is everywhere. But Olsen's might take the cake for the sheer scale of the miss.
Yeah, hard to argue with that one. We definitely encourage everyone listening to dig into these stories more, the context, the people. It says a lot about human nature, progress, all that stuff.
And maybe think twice before you declare something absolutely certain this week.
Right? You just never know when the universe is listening, ready with a punchline.